In the Hearts and Minds, Book 0, The Birth of a Hero, Story 24, The Hero Association is Born, continued. Juan pivoted, a sable-cloaked arm unveiling the two prettified murder machines standing 15 feet away from him. Ah, yes, how could we forget? Without our frosted soldiers, without the triumphs of our most elite X-Squad, we would have suffered far, far worse. A sizable piece of our victory lies with them, with our... He paused, considering. Varti witnessed the moment a light bulb erupted in his brain, spilling electrical pulses to each slimy chunk. She, and perhaps Bran, were the first ones to witness the birth of a new era. Our heroes, he finished. It was a groggy statement, and Varti could have thrown up at how weighted President Juan's voice was. In it, Varti heard a shiver of heat, but this was not her husband protecting her from a gang of desperate dairy farmers. This was not a heroic and, frankly, sexy show of dominance and protection from the love of her life. This was a sable-washed man who knew he could never fill the void of the two giants' footsteps before him. Varti could think of nothing more dangerous. Not at that moment. No cocky terrorist brat, nor deceptive puppet master could ever trump one who was so bold, powerful, and stupid. I would like to make this announcement. The president cleared his throat, clearly making shit up. It is a little early. If my advisors are here watching this, which we all know they are, please forgive my impatience. Nothing can outshine our victory and the return of thousands of our troops. Nothing can ever come close to it. We needed to bask in the glory of our accomplishments before digging in our heels for the rest of the work waiting us. We earned a glorious basking. A victory like this doesn't come around often. Not for hundreds and hundreds of years. President Juan forgot this grand announcement for a while as he reiterated their hard-won journey, long enough for Bran to sidle just an inch closer to Varti, her entire left side, already bare from this unseemly dress, prickled in awareness. What? She gritted out. Brain. You know that's not my name. He turned, tilting his stupid hat crookedly on his stupidly slicked back hair. He made a grand show of unearthing a handkerchief from his suit pocket. I was wondering if you'd thought any more about what Iago told you. The prickling awareness along Varti's side erupted into a white-hot flash of panic. She dared not flinch, dared not even think too loud until her heart returned to a normal tempo. Apparently, being a cocky brat was contagious. Are you insane? She breathed. You're openly cavorting with terrorists now, are you? It isn't enough to sow discord when the tenders aren't around? Why bother pretending? He shrugged. Varti almost imploded. You know what I am, who my sibling is. Of course, Varti replied stiffly. I've known you since before you knew how to hide your emotions. When you were 12, she didn't say out loud. Thus far, Bran was the youngest who had been abducted and steeped. Now he was an adult. He'd grown into adulthood, wearing that blue band that labeled him a monster. Bran studied her, openly. Varti was surprised at the depth she could see in his black eyes. Had she ever looked closely at this child before? Certainly not that she could remember. She'd been uncomfortable at how young he was. She'd never been one to gravitate toward children, even when they weren't forcibly kidnapped and changed into genetically enhanced killers. There were furrows between his brows from how often he frowned, but for once his full lips looked almost thin. She knew he could be pouty, and often was. He had grown. He had grown despite where he was, despite the horrors that had been done to him. Not only that, he had found the gall to stand here before 30 Truvian reporters and a boastful president and dare to bring up terrorist scum by name. This isn't kindness or pity or anything like that. It's trust. Varti squeezed her eyes shut. Anything to drown out the words she didn't want to remember. The pounding in her heart that made it nearly unbearable to stand in place. I trust him to watch my family, so I have to watch his when he can't. Today, I would like to announce the creation of a new branch of government. We've learned from our mistakes. It's much too hard to be lenient when aggressive entities take the hard-won products that we cultivate and use them to throw bricks right back in our face. That way won't sustain our newfound independence. No, we need a specialized group to suss out these entities before they can even think of stealing from the prosperity of Truvia United. We need heroes. A weird twitching sound scrabbled through Varti's heart. She heard the intake of breath from the reporters, rippling to all corners of this ridiculously massive room. She heard the child, who was now a man, stiffen, the rough buttons of his unfamiliar suit scraping together. She even heard what must have been a lone fly traveling near her ear. Ah. Varti's spine straightened as the stupid memories and the stupid brat's words receded, out of touch, out of mind, out of mind. This new branch of the government will utilize our heroic frosted soldiers and the teams of dutiful workers who helped teach them. President Juan gripped his podium with enough force to make it quiver back and forth against the dais, twitching, twitching, twitching. Please give a round of applause for the dozens of brave soldiers, frosted and otherwise, who will oversee the safety of our country, who will protect us from rotten aggressors, rotten flies. The fly in the room circled around Varti's head. Her chin gave a little wobble, following it. Bran was finally frowning. But Varti smiled, full of teeth. She tilted her head close enough to smell the cloying hair gel keeping his messy curls in place. If you ever bring up that brat in my presence again, I will report you. You will die a hideous death, and I will be there watching. Tell that to all of your little cohort friends. Bran's expression didn't change. Let our two most decorated frosted pave the path to a peaceful future, where freedom is gained only by triumph of your own loyal spirit. Nothing is promised, and that is why everything can be gained. The applause started slow, then grew and grew and grew. Varti's smile ticked upward as she stared down into the face of that half-baked terrorist sympathizer. She preferred his pouting face. He was still a child. The facial hair couldn't lie to her. They will usher in the newest era of prosperity, of peace, of victory. Please, Welcome our first two leaders for the Hero Association's inaugural year, Varti Hamilton and Bran Medivo. By the time the cameras were tilted on their pods and angled in their direction, Bran had taken Varti's arm like a gentleman, and together they smiled into the dark lenses.